to say good afternoon to all of our attendees and our panelists, the Honorable Shirley Troutman, the Honorable Troy K. Weber, the Honorable Karen Lupaloff, and the Honorable Joan D. Quinones. My name is Marilyn Nicholas Brewster. I'm the Executive Director of the Franklin H. Williams Judicial Commission, and we welcome you this afternoon to our program, the Franklin H. Williams Judicial Mentor Program, How to Build a Successful Mentoring Relationship. Before we get started with the program, please ensure that your microphone is muted. And please note also that this session is being recorded so that it may be shared with those who are unable to attend today's session. On our agenda today, after introductions, we will begin with a clip of the Franklin H. Williams documentary. Then the Franklin H. Williams Judicial Commission co-chairs, Judge Troutman and Judge Weber, Justices Troutman and Justice Weber will provide an overview of the commission, discussing the commission's history, its purpose and goals, and programming. Then Honorable Karen Lupaloff and the Honorable Joanne D. Quinones will discuss how to build a successful mentoring relationship. And thereafter, Judge Quinones, who is the chair of the Franklin H. Williams Judicial Mentor Program, will provide an overview of the Judicial Mentor Program. So there will be a question and answer period towards the end of the program, at which time you may unmute yourself and ask any questions, or you may choose to use the chat function. To submit your questions to the panelists. And the chat icon is located in the meetings control panel at the bottom center of your meeting video. So on behalf of the Franklin H. Williams Judicial Commission, I am pleased to introduce and welcome our esteemed panelists, the co-chairs of the Franklin H. Williams Judicial Commission. The Honorable Shirley Troutman is an Associate Justice of the Appellate Division, 4th Department, and co-chair of the Franklin H. Williams Judicial Commission. She previously served as a trial judge in the New York State Supreme Court, assigned to the 8th Judicial District. Prior to her election to the Supreme Court, Justice Troutman was a county court judge. Prior to joining the bench, Justice Troutman was an assistant U.S. attorney for the Western District of New York, Assistant Attorney General, and Assistant District Attorney. She is also a member of the Ethics Commission of the New York State Unified Court System and serves as a faculty member of the Advisory Committee on Judicial Ethics. The Honorable Troy K. Weber is an Associate Justice of the Appellate Division, 1st Department, and a co-chair of the Franklin H. Williams Judicial Commission. She has served as an Assistant District Attorney in the New York County District Attorney's Office, a Senior Associate at a medium-sized law firm, a Deputy Bureau Chief at the New York City Corporation Council, and a law assistant to a state Supreme Court justice. Justice Weber was elected to the Civil Court countywide in November of 1993, and thereafter elected to the Supreme Court, New York County in November 2002. She was appointed acting surrogate in January of 2009. And in February of 2016, Justice Weber was appointed to the Appellate Division, 1st Department. Justice Weber also serves on the New York State Advisory Committee on Judicial Ethics and the Advisory Committee on Criminal Law and Procedure. The full bios of both Justices Troutman and Weber can be found in your materials that was shared yesterday. So immediately after the clip of the Franklin H. Williams documentary, you will hear from Justices Troutman and Weber. Next slide, please.
We must not stop now. We have come too far to turn back. A nation that has progressed because of the sweat and blood of thousands of blacks. A nation that first tolerated slavery, then outlawed it. That accepted separate but equal as a valid constitutional concept, then rejected it. A nation that has slowly, painfully, tragically evolved to the point where a black can run for the presidency. A nation that has come so far must not now give up the struggle to rid itself of racism.
In 1949, Thurgood Marshall turned to his 31-year-old special counsel, an obscure New York lawyer named Franklin Williams. When the NAACP Legal Defense Fund was asked to help 4 young black men who were accused of raping a white woman in Groveland, Florida. One of the suspects was killed by a posse before being arrested. 2 were taken out on a desolate road by the sheriff and shot. The 3 who survived for trial were convicted by an all-white jury on the strength of false confessions that resulted from torture. 2 were sentenced to die in the electric chair. 1, who was 16, was sentenced to life in prison. All were innocent. But their innocence was of no consequence in 1949 in the Deep South. A white jury could simply never credit the word of a black man over that of a white girl. It was socially and politically unthinkable. Franklin Williams was thrown into the middle of this cultural and legal minefield.
I saw what one man with a law degree can do. And that was, for me, the most important thing that has impacted my life.
There were riots. They bombed a civil rights activist's home. And he saw this. He was part of this. He was brave enough to defend these young men and did this throughout the South, by the way. So this was not just someone who spoke civil rights. This is someone who put his life on the line for civil rights.
Franklin Hall Williams was a visionary and trailblazer who devoted his life to fostering better relations between all communities, not through acrimony and violence, but through reason and example. Throughout his lifetime, he would play many roles: attorney, civil rights leader, diplomat, organizer of the Peace Corps, United Nations representative, foundation president. In the late 1980s, the New York State Judicial Commission on Minorities was formed to promote racial and ethnic fairness in the courts. The first such court-based commission ever established in the United States. The commission was first formed at the suggestion of the coalition.
Good afternoon. I wish to thank you for your willingness to participate in our judicial mentoring program. Mentoring is certainly an important in all professions, but I would submit to you in professions where there are underrepresentation of certain groups, including minorities, it's even more important. The commission meets regularly with the chief judge and the chief administrator of the courts in order to ensure that that diversity and the respectful treatment of persons of color who utilize the court systems remains a priority. The initial report of Franklin H. Williams covered the public and the courts, legal education, the legal profession, non-judicial officers, employees, minority contractors, and the original commission study is found on the website that's shown on the screen. The commission has participated in a number of programs, and I will now turn it over to Justice Weber with respect to those.
Oh, thank you, Justice Troutman. Good afternoon. I want to thank you all also for taking the time out of your busy schedule to take part in this informational meeting, as well as to agreeing to becoming a judicial mentor. I also want to thank Mary Lynn and Carlene for putting the program together. And separately, I want to thank Justice Quinones for spearheading the program. As was stated by Justice Troutman, the Franklin H. Williams Commission is dedicated to ensuring diversity in the New York State court system, as well as addressing issues of systemic racism and bias. To that end, as you can see, we sponsor numerous programs, seminars, and CLEs. As stated by Justice Troutman, we also meet regularly with the Chief Judge, the administrative and supervising judges in most, if not all, the judicial districts. Non-judicial and judicial members of the court are encouraged to contact us with any issues they are facing or which they believe should be addressed by the Commission. This may be done on or off the record. The Judicial Mentoring Program obviously is but one program that we sponsor. It is, however, extremely important. I just want to take a moment. The Judicial Friends, which is a fraternal organization of judges of color, put out a report recently. I hope you received a copy of it, and I hope you were able to take a look at it. The statistics in it were rather daunting. On the trial level, we have 38 out of 134 judges who are Black. That's in New York City. Outside of New York City, we have 9 of 143 who are Black. Additionally, in terms of appointments, we have 12 out of 107 appointees by the mayor who are Black, and the court of claim numbers are even lower. The reason I mention that is because in order for us to ensure that there is diversity in the judiciary, there must be a pool of qualified candidates. We cannot go to the chief judge or to the administrative judges or the supervising judges or the deputy administrative judge and ask why there are no judges of color in administrative positions, why there are no judges of color who are being given specific assignments, why there are so few judges of color on the appellate term, as well as on the appellate division, not to mention the Court of Appeals. And so when we go to these administrative judges, as well as to the chief judge, the issue or the question always is, well, there are no judges of color in the pool of judges who can be considered for the same. This is why this program is so important. By preparing and assisting qualified, diverse individuals to become judges, we are ensuring that there will be a qualified as well as a diverse bench. I thank you for agreeing to take part in this important program as well as a rewarding task, and I look forward to working with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Justices Troutman and Weber. And I am now pleased to introduce and welcome Judge Karen Lupaloff and Judge Joanne D. Quinones. Judge Lupaloff is supervising judge of the New York County Family Court and was first appointed to the bench in 2005. Judge Lupaloff presided during her first year in Manhattan Criminal Court and has presided since that time in New York City Family Court, both in the Bronx and in Manhattan. Before her appointment to the bench, Judge Lupaloff was an assistant district attorney at the New York County District Attorney's Office and has served as deputy commissioner at the Office of the Special Commissioner of Investigation for the New York City School System, and deputy chief of the Medicaid Fraud Control Unit, and later deputy chief of the Criminal Division in the Office of the New York State Attorney General. Judge Lupaloff also serves as a member of the Richard C. Fowler LGBTQ Commission of the New York Courts. The Honorable Joanne D. Quinones was first appointed to the bench in 2010 by the Honorable Michael R. Bloomberg, then Mayor of the City of New York, and she currently sits in Kings County Supreme Court criminal term. Immediately prior to her appointment, Judge Quinones served as the principal court attorney to the Honorable Matthew F. Cooper and previously served as a staff attorney with the Criminal Defense Division of the Legal Aid Society. In 2015, she was appointed by the Chief Judge, Jonathan Lipman, at the time, to the Franklin H. Williams Judicial Commission on Racial and Ethnic Fairness in the Courts. Judge Quinones is an active member of numerous bar associations, and has received numerous awards and accolades for her commitment to the legal and greater community. I welcome Judges Lupoloff and Quinones. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Hello, I'll start. Karen Lupoloff here. First, I want to say that I hope all of you are well. I hope your families are well. I hope the families you serve are well. I think here in 2020, where the world is off kilter, where a man as nice as Mr. Floyd was tortured to death for all the world to see, where so many other people are being killed and tortured, it has never been more important to have a diverse, fair judiciary representing all of us. So all of you who are considering being mentors, I tell you, be a mentor. We need the strongest, most diverse judiciary we could have, especially now. So let me tell you, just for a minute, I just want to talk a little bit about my background. So I'm a farm kid. I grew up on a kosher chicken farm in my hometown. It was a hometown where the Black kids and the Jewish kids hung out. We were friends. My father told stories of, in our hometown, on the baseball team, there was a team of the Black kids and the Jewish kids against the Klan kids. I grew up in a town where swastikas were painted on my synagogue. I grew up in a town where we had people in the Klan, people who supported Adolf Hitler. I grew up in a town where I was a kid. My dad took my brother and me when I was maybe 10 or 11 to see Shirley Chisholm speak when she was running for president. Her speech, coupled with how I grew up in my little farm town, seeing kindness and hatred all at the same time, and then having the opportunity to see Shirley Chisholm speak, her speech and seeing her and learning about her really informed my life and what I would become. This kid from the farm, who's probably the only judge you'll ever meet who can tell you every size an egg comes in. I am now finishing my 16th year on the bench and proud to be a judge for all these years, and so very proud to play a tiny little part in making sure that the bench and the service we provide to our community represents and helps all the members of our community. I'm a family court judge. I spent 7 years in the Bronx and the rest of my time in Manhattan. Most of the families we serve are poor. Most of the families we serve are Black and brown. Most of the families we serve need to see that their bench is a bench of fairness, intelligence, and represents all members of the New York City community, just not a few. When we are on the bench and we are wearing that black robe, we're all the same. Every single judge, we are the Constitution, we are the statute, we are evidence, we are proof and lack thereof. So as judges, we are all the same, but each of us brings our own diverse, rich fabric. My fabric I've just told you about, plus the fact that I'm gay, plus the fact that as a gay woman, the only discrimination I suffered as a gay woman was from my own family. Over time, things changed, but each of us brings to the bench the Constitution, the statutes, the rules of law, the cases, and our own particular background. Whether we are the great-great-grandchildren of slaves, whether we are the grandchildren of people who escaped tyranny in Europe, whether we are great-great-great-great-grandchildren of people who were on the Mayflower, all of us bring our own independent story, our own independent background. And it's that independent, diverse fabric that we each bring that makes us fair, impartial jurists. And when we have families who appear before us who need our help, and now more than ever, they need our help. They need to see that our judiciary is a place of independence, a place of fairness, a place without bias, a place without prejudice. And they see that when they see that we have judges of all ethnicities, all races, all creeds, all genders, all sexual orientation, because it's all of us together that can provide that safety, that security, and that jurisprudence that our community deserves. So being a mentor is not just important to bring in those many excellent, and of course there are so many excellent people of color who should join me and join you on the bench, no doubt about it. Being a mentor gives us the opportunity to help these people through really the challenge of making it through all those interviews and making it through that process. It is a daunting process. I used to joke when I was going through it myself that if I wasn't appointed a judge, maybe I could sell it as a reality show, so you want to be a judge, because it is a daunting long-term process to get to wear these robes. And we need to encourage those great candidates out there so they don't give up, so they join us on the bench, so we do have the diverse, strong bench, because without diversity, we will not be a strong bench. So a reason to become a mentor is to make our bench stronger, make our bench better, and be more representative to the community. Another reason to be a mentor is because it helps we, the sitting judges. I learn every day. I'm in my 16th year. Trust me, I learn every day from my colleagues in the bench. When we talk about cases, when we talk about the situation that a family may be in, it is the perspective that my colleagues bring to me that keeps informing me. I'm the white kid from the farm, right? I continue to learn from my brethren who have their different, diverse background and experience. We all follow the Constitution, we all follow the law, but we bring to each other the understanding and the recognition, and we learn from each other. So being a mentor not only is great to expand the diversity on the bench, which we need to be strong, but it's also great because those colleagues of mine are the people I go to every day. They're the ones who teach me. They're the ones I learn from. I am so very fortunate to call Judge Quinones my first mentee. Judge Quinones and Judge Lillian Wan were my two mentees. They are both spectacular judges, and I am so very happy to call them not only my mentees, but my dear friends, people I go to when I need to run things, talk about a case, figure out what the best thing is to do. So for all of you who are considering being a mentor, I will say this. In my view as a judge, it's your responsibility. Not only is it an opportunity, but I truly see it as a responsibility as a judge to encourage those who should join us on the bench, to bring with them their fabric, their understanding of the law, their ethics, their justice, so we have that strong bench that really we require in order to best serve our families. So it's an opportunity. You'll make wonderful friends. You'll have a wonderful time being a mentor, but really to me, it is a responsibility, one of the things that we should be required to do in our role as members of the judiciary. So thank you for giving me a few minutes. I'll turn it to my dear friend and mentee, Judge Quinones, and then we'll talk a little more together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Judge Lupaloff. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me begin by saying thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining the Franklin H. Williams Commission in our efforts to increase diversity on the bench. Thank you for volunteering to serve as mentors to lawyers who aspire to be judges. To date, 55 of our colleagues have signed up for the program, and that truly warms my heart. Not just because I'm a strong believer in the power of mentoring, but because, as you've heard, I'm a former Franklin H. Williams Commission mentee. In late 2008, shortly after I submitted my application to the Mayor's Advisory Committee on the Judiciary, I requested a mentor through the Commission's Judicial Mentor Program, and to my good fortune, I was paired with Judge Karen Lupaloff. I had never previously met Judge Lupaloff. In fact, I didn't even know who she was. And when I found out who she was, I remember wondering why they had paired me with her. I think I had expected to be paired with a female judge of color. But you see, that's the awesome and powerful thing about mentoring. It forges connections between people who might not have met otherwise. Good mentors come in all shapes, colors, and sizes. To be an effective mentor, you don't need to share the same race, gender, religion, family background, and/or extracurricular interests as your mentee. You just need to be invested in nurturing a positive professional relationship with your mentee. From my very first meeting with Judge Lupoloff, I already knew that I had lucked out in my mentor pairing. Judge Lupoloff took her role as a mentor seriously. You can see that she took her remarks, her presentation today very seriously. She was welcoming, she was motivating, she was validating. She was so committed to our relationship and to helping me attain my goal of becoming a judge. I would come over to her chambers during lunch and she would mute me in between bites of her sandwich. I would call her before every interview and after every interview. I called her the day before the public hearing, the morning of the public hearing, the afternoon after the public hearing. I called her so much that her family even got to know me. Her partner, Anella, her daughter, Frances Lillian. I tell you, I had Judge Lupoloff on speed dial, her home, her cell, and her work number. And when I first saw the text that's on the screen now, I immediately thought, that, in a nutshell, describes the relationship that I had with Judge Lupoloff. She coached me, and I learned. She challenged me, and I grew. She believed in me, and here I am today, a judge for almost 10 years and chair of the very program that brought us together. So, I say all this to say that this is the kind of impact you can have on a lawyer who aspires to be your colleague on the bench. So why don't we, in the interest of time, start talking about how you can be that person who helps another realize his or her goal of becoming a judge. Next screen, please. Well, for starters, both parties, the mentor and the mentee, have to have some awareness or understanding of the other's expectations. And this should be addressed at your first interaction, whether it's an in-person, well, I guess given the times we're in, it's likely to be a phone call or a virtual meeting, but you need to have a discussion about expectations, including your availability and the amount of time that you can devote to the relationship. The time commitment for the mentorship program is open-ended and flexible, but we're asking that at a minimum, you have 2 face-to-face, well, I guess at this point, virtual meetings with your mentee per year. Now, some mentees may want or feel that they need more than 2 meetings, and if you can offer that, great. If you can't, 2 meetings will suffice, and hopefully you can supplement the meetings with phone calls and emails. Your first contact will be initiated by your mentee. Mentees will be asked to reach out to their mentors based on the mentor's preferred manner and time of contact within 2 weeks of the pairing. So if you haven't done so already, please specify how you prefer to be contacted, whether by phone or by email, and the best time to reach you. Next slide, please. In addition to establishing guidelines at your first meeting, that first meeting should be an opportunity to learn about who your mentee is and why your mentee wants to become a judge. Have the mentee explain his or her qualifications, fitness, and readiness for the bench. And if you discover that your mentee lacks certain qualifications for a judgeship, talk about ways that your mentee can acquire those qualifications. For example, if your mentee is applying for a judicial appointment with the Mayor's Advisory Committee on the Judiciary, the body that appoints judges to family or criminal court or as an interim civil court assigned to family or criminal court, and you see that your mentee has no family law experience, you may want to suggest that the mentee go observe family court proceedings, take family law CLEs, and familiarize themselves with the Family Court Act. Next slide, please. In discussing your mentee's qualifications, fitness, and readiness for the bench, be sure to address, in a sensitive way, of course, areas of concern. We all know that judicial questionnaires ask candidates about anything and everything, whether there have been any formal complaints, charges, or malpractice claims. They ask about summonses, criminal arrests, and convictions, whether they've been the subject of an investigation by any entity, including the IRS, whether there are any judgments or tax warrants or tax liens, whether they failed to timely file their tax returns. And then there's the catch-all question at the end of all the questionnaires. Set forth any information not elicited herein that would affect favorably or unfavorably your eligibility for office. If your mentee has any of these red flags, he or she must be prepared to address them. If you review your mentee's application, you'll hopefully become aware of any problem areas, or your mentee may raise these concerns at one of your meetings. If neither of those things occur, you may want to take the initiative and ask your mentee, is there anything in your application or in your past that may be cause for concern? By doing so, you can help your mentees engage in an honest assessment of their qualifications and help them address and hopefully overcome any obstacles that may have a negative impact on their judicial aspirations. Next slide, please. Now let's talk about some do's and don'ts of judicial mentoring. This is meant to be a professional, confidential relationship, not necessarily a friendship, although the relationship may evolve into a friendship. Your functions as mentors is to guide, advise, counsel, teach, encourage, and to motivate, to serve as a confidant and a role model, to share the good, the bad, and the ugly about our profession. So share your war stories, have your mentees shadow you, explain the ins and outs of our system of justice. But please remember, as so aptly put by Wall Street banker, motivational speaker, and author Carla Harris in her book entitled Expect to Win, the agenda or focus of the mentor-mentee relationship should be on the mentee. We are looking to provide guidance, support, and encouragement to attorneys interested in judicial positions. Next slide, please. Because we are sitting judges, there are, however, some restrictions on what we may and may not do as mentors. We can review and comment on a mentee's application. We can moot mentees, that is, we can have them practice answers to questions that they may be asked during the interviews, and we can discuss our own experiences with the process. A judge, however, must take care not to lend the prestige of judicial office to advance private interests. So a judicial mentor cannot make connections for his or her mentee behind the scenes by contacting political leaders or others on the mentee's behalf. With respect to mentees who are vying for elective office, a judicial mentor must avoid any perception of impermissible political activity. So a sitting judge cannot provide any campaign advice. That is, we must not review or comment on proposed campaign literature or advertisements, campaign slogans, or other matters of campaign strategy and outreach to voters. These, of course, are direct quotes from Opinion 16-151, which was issued on December 8, 2016 by the Advisory Committee on Judicial Ethics. The full opinion is included in your materials that were emailed to you, and we encourage all mentors to read it. Next slide, please. So now a little bit about the mentor-mentee pairings. The pairings are usually done on a rolling basis as we get applications throughout the year. But because of the overwhelming response that we received to our recent request for mentors and mentees, we will be doing an en masse pairing in the next few weeks. In making matches, the Franklin Williams Commission's Judicial Mentor Committee will consider the type of judicial position sought, whether appointed or elected, the areas of legal practice, and current court assignments of the mentors. Barring any exceptional circumstance, each mentor will be assigned one mentee. Right now, we have more mentors signed up than we do mentees. So some of you may not be assigned a mentee right away, but those of you who attended today will get bonus points. Just kidding, that's not true. That's not how we pick them. We'll match them as we can. So anyway, as you know, this is the Franklin H. Williams Judicial Mentor Program. So diversity and inclusion is our ultimate goal. So it is expected that each of you will be motivated by a commitment to promote and increase judicial diversity. And as I stated in the beginning, you and your mentee may not have anything in common other than a desire to serve our communities as members of the judiciary. But hopefully, this gives you an opportunity to cross paths and learn from someone of a diverse background. Next slide, please. So go ahead and be the amazing mentor that we all know you can be. I leave you with this quote. One of the greatest values of mentors is the ability to see ahead what others cannot see and to help them navigate a course to their destination. That concludes my presentation. I'd like to thank the commission co-chairs, Justices Troy Weber and Shirley Troutman, Executive Director Mary Lynn Nicholas Brewster, Counsel Carlene Dennis, and the entire commission for their commitment to continuing our judicial mentoring program. And I'd also like to thank and recognize the members of the Franklin Williams Judicial Mentor Program Committee, Honorable Craig Hanna, Chief Judge, Buffalo City Court, Honorable Shahabuddin Ali, recently named Supervising Judge of the New York County Civil Court, Honorable Michael Lopez, Rochester City Court Criminal Branch, Austin D'Souza, Principal Law Clerk to Judge Fabiola Soto of the Court of Claims, and Lauren Jones, ADR Coordinator, New York City Surrogates Court. We're happy to take any questions. Thank you. And seeing that there are none, thank you very much. No.
No, I was going to say at this point, anyone who has any questions, please feel free to unmute yourselves and you can ask any questions at this time.
This is an experienced group of mentors. Justices Troutman, Justice Weber, you want to add anything?
I would simply add again an appreciation for all of you agreeing to serve as mentors. And one thing that we should all be mindful of, sometimes your mentees may not even realize that they have the potential to serve on the bench. So it's also important, just like Joanne's last slide, they need to be able to see it. So we would appreciate you to encourage them even beyond that which may have been in their application.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Patsy Gogar, and I just have a question. How's everybody first and foremost? Hope everybody's fine. I just wanted to know how does the commission reach out to individuals regarding this mentoring program?
By individuals, do you mean the prospective mentors or the prospective mentees?
Mentees.
So with respect to the prospective mentees, we send out, Marilyn, you want to take that one? Because you and Carlene did all the mailings.
Yes, sure. What we did is we sent out a mass mailing to all of the bar associations and affinity groups. So we did a mass mailing email, campaign. So we have, close to 35, almost 40 attorneys who have submitted a mentor request form. So if there are any bar associations or other groups that you think we should forward that to, please feel free to let me know and I'll make sure to do that. But we did send it out statewide to all of the state bar, all of the associations throughout the state. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Patsy, I'm sorry, Justice Weber, go ahead.
No, I was just going to add that one of the programs that we've done in the past and will be doing in the near future is how to become a judge. And we've done this a couple of times, and we're going to do another program, as I said. And so during those programs we mentioned the mentoring program. And so a lot of individuals who attend those programs are told about the mentoring program as well. So we get mentees from that program as well.
Thank you.
And in addition, you have now been educated regarding the existence of our program and about the commission itself. And we certainly would appreciate your serving as an ambassador and spreading the news that this program does in fact exist.
Oh, I will do it. Now that I have permission, thank you.
Thank you. I also wanted to note that all of this information as well, the application for the mentor request form and all of that is on our website as well. So you can also share that with, as Justice Troutman has stated, with anyone who's interested in the program. And I have Judge McGinty is also, Judge McGinty?
Yes. Hi,
Yes.
how are you?
How are
Thank you for putting this together. I'm very eager to get involved. I'm just wondering what the timing is in terms of when we might expect to hear, if at all, that we have been paired with someone.
Sure. So the committee will be getting together in the next couple of weeks and starting the matching of mentors and mentees. So we expect that you will start hearing from us later this month or early in October.
Thanks very much.
Sure. All right, I don't see that we have any other questions. Any final comments?
Well, I just wanted to again say, thank you to all of our attendees, our future mentors for joining us this afternoon. And we are so excited to launch this program. We have such a great response from not only judges, but also the attorneys who are interested in this program. And so we're just excited to get this program up and running. And I also wanted to end with just noting that our commission will be celebrating its 30th anniversary. So I just wanted to, if you want to find out more about our commission, please visit our website. We'll be doing much more programming in the upcoming year to celebrate 30 years of, promoting racial and ethnic fairness in the courts. So we're excited about the programming that we're going to be continuing to do in the next year. And I see that Judge Broderick has her hand up. Judge Broderick?
Hi there, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi there, I'm out here in Nassau County, and I just was curious as to what, how much interest there was from potential mentees in courts outside of New York City.
We certainly have interest all throughout the state. So we will definitely, in terms of pairing individuals, look at the courts outside of New York City and those who are looking for mentors outside of New York City. But we definitely have an interest. This was distributed statewide, so the interest is throughout the state.
Absolutely. There are mentees interested in getting mentors. From upstate, we've gotten quite a few applications, and also from Nassau and Suffolk.
Correct.
And let me just repeat, Nassau and Suffolk are one of the places, two of the places that we're doing the How to Become a Judge program. But because of COVID-19, we were unable to do it. So we will be doing a virtual program during the fall. So Justice Broderick, if you would, get the word out once we set the date for that, we would certainly appreciate it. And also, if you could certainly attend the program, we would appreciate that as well.
I would be happy to. I'm the chair of the Diversity and Inclusion Committee at the Nassau County Bar Association and a past president of Amistad.
Excellent. So hopefully you were
contacted. And I see my friend Adrian Williams on the call.
Oh, wonderful. Well, welcome. So hopefully you were contacted about the program. If you were not contacted about the program, we'll certainly make sure that you are. And then
of course,
you can
Adrian
get the
is a
word
member
out
of the
and you can get some
commission.
mentees. That'll be excellent. Thank you.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes.
Hi, Judge.
Hi, Adrian.
Hi, all judges. Hi, Maxine.
Excellent.
And let me just say also that, Justice Quinones is excellent in spearheading this program. She with the committee, they're doing a great job. But if any of you have any ideas as to how we can improve the program or things we can add to the program or, things that you've encountered while serving as a mentor, please let us know, let the committee know, let Justice Quinones know, because we're always open to new ideas and, additional ways of doing things. So we appreciate any and all input.
And if I can add, some of you are repeat mentors like Judge Lupoloff. We will be sending a survey to past mentors to ask them to give us feedback on ways that we can improve the mentoring program. So please make sure that you complete those surveys and send them back.
Yes. So if they have no further questions, I just wanted to say again, thank you to our panelists, Justices Troutman and Weber, Judge Lupoloff, Judge Quinones, to the entire committee, the Judicial Mentor Program Committee, and all our mentors, our future mentors. Thank you for joining this afternoon. We look forward to your becoming mentors and giving us feedback and really serving as mentors to these young attorneys who are seeking to join the bench. So looking forward to that, and thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Have a good afternoon.
Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone, and have a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Stay safe.
Yes, take care.
Everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.